Hey, I'm Meg, and this is Healing Chiron. Um, so I'm just going to go over like the purpose of this TikTok. So Healing Chiron is going to be like documenting my journey of healing my Chiron wound. And the hopes are that, well, if you're in your healing journey and you are at the Chiron part of everything, then we can build a community and be supportive of one another going through our own journeys. Um and I say our own journeys because like Chiron is going to be like in a different placement for everybody. Some of us may have it in the same placement, but it may look different in our life. um I also, the point of this is to for okay is for helping like shine light on what the witchcraft practice specifically, and I say witchcraft because that's what I do, um what it looks like in real life. So historically, well, I say historically, I mean historically as in since I was last on social media, which was like about 8 years ago now, 7 years ago, something like that. Anyway, I used to be like on Instagram and everything too. And I realized that I needed to detox and put all of that to bed because um it was becoming, instead of it being like something that was helping others or like, yeah, helping, it became extremely, I was watching it evolve into like something extremely toxic and gatekeeping and, you know, making fun of other people and things like that. And like, that's not the point, right? Like, the point of a practice is to first like curate a practice that is um aligned with you, to learn to that your practice is always evolving. Like, so things that I did whenever I first started, like some of them were like one hit wonders, so like I don't do it again. I got what I needed out of it. I may have tried it again and it just didn't have the same impact, or I just don't need to use it again. And by use it, I mean like spell crafting and stuff like that. So understanding that like we as people, so think of your practice as like evolving. Your healing journey is evolving just like we evolve as people, right? So like we're constantly growing. We go from an egg in our mother's womb to like birthing, to from to infancy to toddlerhood to small child, large child, and then like teenager, young adult, adult, so on and so on. It's the same sort of process for healing, and it's the same process for your practice. Like everything's going to evolve. If it's not evolving, so you can think of it like as um like the best way to put it, like as like in a real life perspective, is like think of somebody who peaked in high school and then just never changed. So if you feel that this is where I'm at and this is all I need and blah blah blah, then that would be like equivalent to peaking in high school and thinking that you don't need to change. Um that's okay, but we're here to kind of challenge you and nudge you into seeing beyond that and growing to your highest potential, right? Um, Sometimes, like for baby witches, or if you don't want to call yourself a witch, but you're like you're new to spiritual practices, like maybe you're just awakened or whatever, and you're not really sure what's going on or what this is going to look like in real life and everything. That was another thing that I took issue with, is like things were kept secret, and not secret, but like nobody, they would talk about spells, like, you know, how to do, what to do, when to do, blah blah blah, but like you never really heard about, okay, shadow work. They would tell you to do shadow work, but it would be like on things that are not actually relevant um to each person. First, second, like you don't know what that looks like. What does that look like? What does healing look like? What do spell work, what does that look like? How, like timelines, thought processes, what is your mental health status like before, during, and after, like, you know, seeing all of that is what encourages others to be like, okay, shit, that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, they made it through that, so let's, what comes after that, and then what? So it's all an evolving process. It's constantly going, you're constantly growing, you're constantly changing, you're constantly adapting to a new way of being, thinking, living, you know, things like that. And as some as someone who has done a lot of evolving from like where I came from childhood wise to now, as a generational curse breaker, which if you were like on any of these paths, you would pretty much in my book automatically be a generational curse breaker, because odds are you don't really, if you're here, you don't really come from a supportive background, like, or maybe you do, but it's not as impactful, like maybe it doesn't challenge you as much, maybe it's more like of a stagnant, like complacent type of um type of, what the hell was I saying? I don't know, I forgot. Anyway, moving on. That's the whole thing. I want to show what it looks like, and that while, yeah, it may be scary, it's the healing process that's like, the fear of the unknown is what keeps us stuck, right? The fear of the unknown keeps us like stuck in ruts and things that we're trying to like grow out of. And if you can't face that fear, or you haven't seen it as an example in real life, like what it looks like to face the fear of the unknown and like keep going forward and to come out on the other side, it kind of makes it where it's like, it's not saying that you won't do it, it's saying that like maybe it'll take you longer to do it. It's kind of like working out, right? You don't regret working out, but as soon as you skip a day, you think about it the entire day until like you go back again, right? So like skipping a step or like not facing fear of the unknown, you end up in this like hamster wheel of like, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if I had done it sooner? What if I had, you know, what if I had just followed through in the first place? What if I had just realized that this is what I needed to do? Why did I turn my back on it? And fear of the unknown like keeps people in a chokehold. So meeting somebody who's been in that chokehold and like come out of it several times, um, hopefully it will offer some encouragement and let you know that like you're not alone. And yeah, so here we go.